Interim presidency. The president Yeltsin quit presidency in 1999. Because of that, Putin became interim president. The first thing that Putin did was sign up a document called "On the Guarantees to the Former Presidents of the Russian Federation." The objective of this was to give immunity to Yeltsin. Putin then proceeded to become the most popular in Russia. The 26th of March, Putin got elected president with 52.99% of votes.
The first inauguration of President Putin occurred on May 7 of 2000. The first major challenge to Putin's popularity came in August 2000, when he was criticized for the alleged mishandling of the Kursk submarine disaster. That criticism was largely because it was several days before Putin returned from vacation, and several more before he visited the scene. Between 2000 and 2004, Putin set about the reconstruction of improvised condition of the country, apparently winning a power struggle with the Russian oligarchs, reaching a grand bargain with them. In 2003, a referendum was held in Chechnya, adopting a new constitution which declares that the Republic of Chechnya is part of Russia. On the other hand, the region did acquire autonomy. Chechnya has been gradually stabilized with the establishment of the parliamentary elections and a regional government throughout the Second Chechen War.
6 months after Putin was re-elected, he dealt with the crisis of the hostages of the Beslan school. This assault ended with 380 deaths, and Putin was highly criticized because of how the authorities acted on that issue, but he used this event to his convenience in order to keep reorganizing the political power in Russia. Days later, he announced his intentions to eliminate the direct elections of governors. Also, he modified the State Duma that went from choosing exclusively with lists, in other words, by the proportional system, eliminating the territorial representation. The corresponding law was approved by the Duma in 2005. The political parties cannot unite themselves in electoral blocks, and the individual Russian observers were forbidden, allowing only the ones who represented political parties. The Russian Public Camera was created as well. This institution coordinates the efforts of the citizens, the organization with the governmental institutions, and the local self-management organs. In 2005, Putin's government ran out the national priority projects, which were focused on health, education, living, and agriculture. Also, Russia had a salary increase in the educative sectors and public health, as well as a modernization for equipment of hospitals and medical institutions of public order, implemented between 2006 and 2007. Additional to all of this, Putin gave a speech where he proposed an increment on maternity benefits and prenatal care for women.
In 2008, Putin had no right to run for a third consecutive presidential term, so he supported Dmitry Medvedev for the presidential run. Medvedev won the presidential election. Putin accepted the position of chairman of the United Russia Party. However, Medvedev nominated Putin as the country's prime minister on May 2008. Under his charge, the executive power maintained a course aimed at stable development. The head of the government focused on developing priority national projects related to health, education, housing, and agriculture, in addition to the subsidy program for families with several children. Large projects were developed in the country to ensure the global primacy of the Russian energy sector.
2012 to 2018, third presidential term. On 4 March 2012, Putin won the Russian presidential elections in the first round, with 63.6% of the vote. Opposition groups accused Putin and the United Russia Party of fraud. In January 2013, at the time of 2011-2013 Russian protests, Putin's approval rating fell to 62%, the lowest figure since 2000 and 10-point drop over 2 years. In 2014, Russia took control of strategic positions and infrastructure with the Ukrainian territory of Crimea. Russia then annexed Crimea after a disputed referendum in which Crimeans voted to join the Russian Federation. By May 2014, following the annexion of Crimea, Putin's approval rating had rebounded to 85.9%, a 6-year high. On 30 September 2015, President Putin authorized Russian military intervention in the Syrian civil war, following a formal request by the Syrian government for military help against rebel and jihadist groups.
Fourth period. In 2018, Putin was elected for a third time as president of Russia. This time he won with a 76.67%. This was the best election result in Russia till now.